Welcome to the Lifeitarian. 360 degrees of life. In this space, Monique shares her personal journey. You will be inspired, encouraged, and empowered as you live your everyday life. Here's your host, Monique Monkey.
Hey, Lifeitarians. On today's episode, I'm going to be sharing with you UnBeautiful. Pennsylvania autumn has always been a beautiful backdrop and a wonderful welcome to the brand new school year. I was 4 years old when I attended my first day of Get Set, a preschool program that allowed me to have constant supervision, educational instruction, and playtime with other children while my mother worked. She helped me get dressed that morning in my little orange, red, and yellow tartan plaid dress with a big bow in the back, one of my favorites. My yellow lace trimmed socks peeked out above my red Mary Jane shoes, and I knew I was as cute as can be. A crown of curls topped the outfit, finished off by barrettes carefully positioned in my hair by my mama. I was so excited to be going to big girl school. I bounced with every step. Going to school was a whole lot of fun and very exciting that day. My older brother, we called him Squeaky, picked me up from school that afternoon, and I remember being super talkative on the walk home because I liked my new teacher, all of my classmates, our bright and colorful classroom, recess, and learning new things. When we got home, Squeaky went into the kitchen to make me a sandwich, and I raced to sit on the sofa in the living room so I could watch the cartoons he had been watching on the television. Just like a 4-year-old, full of energy, I jumped on the sofa and flopped my feet on the floor, not realizing that Sparky, the Doberman that my mom was watching for a friend, was beneath me. I don't know if I startled him or kicked him or what, but he jumped up on me very quickly, narrowly missing my eye, and ripped the entire right side of my face between my nose and my ear off. I didn't feel his teeth rip through my flesh. I actually thought the dog had licked me. After a few minutes, I realized something was definitely wrong because Squeaky was hysterical, crying and screaming, "Oh my God, your face, you're bleeding. Mommy's going to kill me." So I started crying and screaming too because I love my brother and I didn't want him to die. Why would Mommy kill him? I wasn't sure why we were crying, but I knew it had to be really, really bad. One of my mama's friends suddenly appeared at the front door. "Lord have mercy, we got to get you to the hospital." She called an ambulance and then called Mommy at work. The paramedics arrived and quickly loaded me into an ambulance. The ride was scary. Everyone seemed so horrified and moved so quickly. I can clearly remember everyone's reaction to the mangled flesh on the side of my face was, everyone who looked at me would do that. My brother, "Your face." My mother's friend, "Your face." The paramedics, "Your face." The paramedics kept trying to cover my face with gauze soaked in an orange liquid. Betadine, I later learned it was called. My face felt wet, and I sensed the urgency of the moment. It didn't take long for my mom to arrive in the emergency room. I was so glad to see her. I wanted her to make everything all right. I wanted to talk to her and tell her what happened, but I had been given some kind of sedative and didn't remember very much after that point. I later learned that my mother, who was a police officer, had gone home and shot and killed Sparky before coming to the hospital. The hospital became my home for 2 months. For weeks prior to and in preparation for the surgery, I had to attend school at the hospital with other children who were sick in the morning. We had playtime and arts and crafts, then lunch and medication. My mom always bought dinner to the hospital after she got off of work, and she would eat dinner with me every day and stay with me until I fell asleep. I didn't like going to bed at the hospital because I was a big girl, and they made me sleep in a baby crib. The dog had done a lot of damage to my small, still developing face. It took a long reconstructive cosmetic surgery to repair the damage, but it wasn't over when I left the hospital. For years, I had to endure the cruelty of other children. Monique is a weirdo. Monique has a dog bite. Monique is a scar face. Look at that ugly face. It's scary. You are so ugly. You'll never be beautiful. One day, however, I really realized when a little boy at school kept calling me dog biting Scarface. As mean as it was, I remember saying to him, I may have a dog bite and a Scarface, but at least my family loves me. Those words hurt him very bad, and he stopped teasing me. This particular boy lived in a foster home. It was then that I realized that the cutting words of other children could only hurt me if I allowed them to. It was that day that a little voice inside me began whispering to my heart, you are beautiful. You are a very special little girl. No one else in the world has a scar like yours. After that, the teasing didn't bother me very much anymore. Things seemed to go pretty well after I began learning to develop my self-confidence despite the disfiguring scar. Well, that is until I became a teenager. Entering my teen years, I needed a lot of self-assurance. Becoming more conscious of my appearance and wanting to look pretty and mature was important. I worked hard every day at shedding my childlike demeanor and attitudes. I was trying to become more confident, but I struggled with my many insecurities and indulged in negative self-talk. I wasn't thin enough, I wasn't smart enough, and I certainly wasn't pretty enough. After all, a dog had mangled my face and scarred me for life. That was embedded in my subconscious mind, and I embodied all of it. Music videos, fashion magazines, and the culture in which I lived would become the gauge by which I conceptualized and measured myself and fed the beast that became my self-image. That mirror, mirror on the wall became my worst enemy after all. Every time I looked at myself, I became disgusted or disappointed. I was not satisfied with my appearance, my weight, my hair, my scar. I looked nothing like the girls I saw on television, in the music videos, at school, or in the fashion magazines. As time progressed forward, I started to turn into what I believed I looked like, my negative image of myself. I didn't like myself, so I didn't like anyone else either. I had a very bad temper and a very negative attitude. My desire to manifest the images of other people became a beast with an insatiable appetite that I could not afford to feed. It took years of personal growth, personal development, and mentoring by the village of women who raised me before I was able to shed the negative self-image that I was wearing. Far too often, we allow the media and mass marketing to influence our minds. We don't know how to effectively filter the ways in which mass marketing and our cultures create these false personas of what someone is supposed to look like, what type of car someone is supposed to drive, or what type of home someone is supposed to live in, what type of clothes someone is supposed to wear, what length someone's hair is supposed to be, how white someone's smile should be, and I won't even scratch the surface on plastic surgery. I encourage you to be brave enough to be your own kind of beautiful. You are enough by yourself. You are beautiful the way God made you to be. I encourage you to embrace everything about yourself. The length and texture of your hair, every beautiful curve, every extra pound, the color of your eyes, the level of your melanin, your overbite, your skinny legs, your big eyes. Embrace you, because you were made imperfectly perfect. And even if some of your imperfections happen to you, as mine did, with the scarring on my face from the dog attack, just know that you will always be imperfectly perfect, just the way you are. I would like to offer to all of my listeners who are still developing and shaping their own personal self-image, be mindful that when you follow the masses, sometimes the letter M is silent. Until next time, Lifeitarians, I offer you life, love, and light.
Don't Don't forget to subscribe for more episodes of The Lifeitarian and follow Monique on all social media platforms at The Lifeitarian.